it's not in a box anymore, but we can also have an unboxing because I have the omnibus. That's the Nightwing one.
Oh yeah, that came out, didn't it?
Yep.
All right, I'm just gonna jump in. All right. Hey everyone, welcome to another week of the Nightwing News. I am Phil, Kristen's here, and friend of the show, Higgins is back.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. All right, we're gonna talk. I know, Kristen, you said you wanted to talk Batman the Animated Series. So, what episodes did you pick?
Well, specifically, we're talking about New Batman Adventures, and I like to get that in there because, well, we'll talk about it. But I picked You Scratch My Back. And which one did you pick, Phil?
Old Wounds.
And Kyle didn't get a chance to pick. Sorry.
No, I probably would have picked. I mean, there are only a few others that you could have picked from. It would have been like Critters, which I never really liked, and then Over the Edge.
Yep. Oh wait, and Joker's Millions. Hold on, I forgot my folder.
I was gonna say, unless you just did like a Dick Grayson one, Dick Grayson Robin one.
That's true. That's actually one of the things. Speaking of Old Wounds, like that's one of the things that always trips me out. Is it's actually the only time we see the original Robin costume in the New Adventures style.
Oh yeah,
of animation, So it's like the only time we get to see Dick Grayson Robin in that new animation style.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's mostly a flashback, but I don't know. I kind of like it more as like a Nightwing episode than like most of the other ones.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. I also like to, I imagine for myself that it takes place not that long after Batman, Mr. Freeze, Sub-Zero.
Yes.
Yeah, that would make sense. I don't know. Where do we want to start? Okay, actually, I have a place where I want us to start, which is not specific to any of the episodes, but ties in with what I was saying, where I was like, we have to be specific, Phil, and it's New Batman Adventures, because I really don't like the New Batman Adventures nearly as much as I like Batman the Animated Series.
Why? Because of the animation style?
Yeah, the animation is a big one. I don't like the New Batman Adventures animation. I'm not sure, because I'm not a animation person. I'm not quite sure how to describe the differences, but I like the Batman the Animated Series. It feels bubblier, and I don't know. Everybody's so linear and intense juddy chins and always really the lines. And the women are too sexy, in my opinion. Everybody got sexied up. And Bruce Wayne's eyes creep me out, particularly. Nobody has pupils in the New Batman Adventures, and it really disturbs me.
Yeah, it as a kid, I really did not like it. I didn't want, and into teenage years. Well, I guess as a kid, I should clarify. As a kid, I was just happy there was more Batman that was on, that they came back after Superman to do more Batman. But then,
because it was like a 5 or 6 year break.
No, I don't think it was that long. It was only a handful of years.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, but then into my 20s, I was always like, yeah, that was such a mistake. I wish they would have kept the animation style the same. And there's some stuff in New Batman Adventures that like it just would have been better in the old animation style. But now, as an adult, I think it's really, really great. Like I'm really taken by how striking it is. And the fact that they were able to strip down Batman the Animated Series even further stylistically and line-wise, with some of those really bold shapes and depicting black for the cape and collar, not blue, but true black. Like it's really striking, and it fits in with the Superman design aesthetic, so that those shows can cross over. In some ways, it and Superman are kind of the two real launch points for what becomes Justice League and Batman Beyond in a chronological standpoint. And like Batman the Animated Series almost then feels like the weird outlier animation style wise when you consider the direction that the rest of the animated DC went post Superman.
I mean, yeah, I'm glad we got Nightwing, but I think like the one redesign I liked, a lot of them I didn't like. The one redesign I liked was Scarecrow. I thought they actually made him scarier, which if anyone should look scarier, it should be the Scarecrow.
Yeah, for sure. I also think the stories are not quite as good, but that could also just be my bias. But it feels like maybe they're not quite as based in comic book stories. I don't know.
I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, well, I guess that's probably fair just because there were actually some stories in Batman the Animated Series that were based, like Demon's Quest, and
I guess that's what I meant. Not necessarily that.
But,
it's definitely grounded in the comics. Yeah, thanks.
But I remember feeling like there were more. Like there's a lot of original creation in both the original and New Batman Adventures, but like they do have a different tone. Maybe there's not as much creation, like not as much as like creation that works. Like Roxy Rocket does not work, and they were trying to make her work as the next Harley Quinn, and she just doesn't work, So I think there's a lot of that. There are a bunch of misfires
and I don't know if the episodes are a little bit shorter. It felt like, and I mean, granted, it's like 2 minutes, but I felt that the ones I was watching today were most of them tended to be just about 20 minutes. And I thought most of the Batman, the animated series, were more like 22 minutes.
I wonder.
And you're like, oh, whatever, 2 minutes. But when you only have 20 or 22 minutes, that can make a really big difference.
They probably put 2 minutes more commercials in. It's probably what it was.
Right. Yeah. That's what I mean. I mean, because that would make sense between 1998 and 92, 93, 94. The number of commercials did increase.
It could, yeah.
I don't know. I do think that the Nightwing design is good. I mean, aside from the hair, although the hair kind of works in the animation.
Yeah, there's Jordan Gibson drew his hair. He took a still frame from the Batman Harley Quinn Nightwing movie that came out a few years ago. And because they did the straight up Batman the Animated Series character, or not Batman the Animated Series, New Batman Adventures character design. They did him, but they updated the hair, but it looks really bad. So there's a still frame on Twitter that I've seen where Jordan Gibson, the illustrator, went in and fixed his hair in what an updated version should look like. And it was infinitely better. Although, did you guys watch that one? Because I didn't. I knew about what it was. I knew sections of the script, and I was like, "Oh, this is an awful idea." Like,
I did watch it.
Yeah.
Actually, I own a copy, and it's $20. I wish I could get back.
Oh, the Harley Quinn, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, look, I think we've talked about it before. I have some regrets about how how we depicted some storylines we ended up doing in Batman Beyond because of choices that were in my Batman Beyond, because of choices that were made on the show. I felt like, okay, well, that is the natural progression of what we would do here, or what the story would do here, potentially. But the Batman Harley Quinn and also Batman the Killing Joke, like
I never even watched that one.
There are some sequences where it's like, how is no one like, how is this not a bigger story? Like,
they created a relationship for Bruce and Barbara just to give him man pain, later on when she got crippled.
Oh, in the Killing Joke, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that weirds me out a little bit. I don't know, weirds me out. One of the things that adds to my sort of dissatisfaction with New Batman Adventures is I'm not totally jazzed. Like, it's cool that you get to see more Batgirl, because she really wasn't in Batman the Animated Series as much, but she's very much a sidekick in the New Batman Adventures. She basically just she's basically like a girl Robin. They were like, we need to have more gender equity. And so she's way more, I don't know, she just didn't feel as much like the kick-ass Barbara Gordon that I like from the comics, because she was much more deferential to Batman in the episodes.
Was that the difference between the new Batman Adventures and the original? Because it's like in a lot of those original episodes, he could be a loner, but it's, the new Batman Adventures, I mean, he always had at least one sidekick with him, right? It was either Robin or Batgirl or both.
Yeah, and occasionally Nightwing. I think I just went through the list. I think there might be 3 of the 24 episodes where he is alone. So yeah, I think maybe you can tell that it almost feels like the Batman the Animated Series. They were like, yeah, we're making a Batman show, and they did it, and it was wildly successful, both for adults and kids. And then maybe a little bit with Batman Adventures, you get the sort of Young Justice problem where they were trying to sell toys. And they're like, well, you can't just have Batman by himself because that's only one toy. So now you have to have all these sidekicks and stuff. Kind of, I mean, I guess, I'm not an insider, but that's what people said about Young Justice was, I mean, it's a really good show, but they said it got canceled because it didn't sell enough toys.
Yeah, I've only seen, I think, the first maybe the 2 seasons of Young Justice. I actually haven't seen the Nightwing season when he's Nightwing. So, but that is something I need to like revisit one of these days.
That's good. Yeah, I think it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I do think what you have up there, Commissioner Gordon looks pretty good. The same in, I think it's really
Bullock
just
looks good.
Yeah, Bullock looks good. I think it's the main thing, as the women are like kind of too sexy for me. And maybe it's just that like not so far ruining my childhood kind of thing, but I really loved the design of Poison Ivy in the new Batman Adventures, and I thought it was a good mix. I thought it was a good mix of her being sexy but also practical, because she's like wearing shoes and wearing pants and a shirt, and then she's basically just like wearing a leotard. I don't know, but her skin also is green in the new Batman Adventures, where she was more looked like a person who had colored skin in the new Batman Adventures. But really, whatever they did with Batman's eyes freaks me out. Bruce Wayne's eyes.
That's weird too. Yeah.
Well, I just think it's weird. They took the red lips off the Joker, which I was like,
well, his eyes, they screwed him, and they've said that they screwed him up. They've said that like the Return of the Joker version of the Joker is what they wish they would have done, and it's a way better model.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, Riddler, you got him up there. He's not bad looking, but I mean that suit that he wears in the new in Batman the Animated Series with the bowler hat and the cane. I mean, that's so dapper. You really can't top that. It's amazing. He looks so good.
Then Mr. Freeze, they made him a head on like an android.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how could you forget that? He survived into the Batman.
I know.
Is it an Ice Age or something, or is that a different version of Mr. Freeze?
Well, no,
that must be a different
his
one.
condition is like killing off his body, and they're able to save like just his head. But then he basically he's frozen until for 50 years.
Yeah, right. So we should chat about these episodes because I have some script I have to write tonight, unfortunately.
Oh goodness, yes. Well,
all right. So yeah, the first one, You Scratch My Back.
Yeah.
Original air date. All right, we're all gonna feel old. November 15th, 1997.
Yep.
What were you doing then?
Watching Batman.
I actually remember watching it for the first time. That was when I had started kind of becoming fascinated by Nightwing as a character, just from the comics that I was reading. And I didn't know that much about him yet, but I'd read the first couple issues of it, or I read like a bunch of issues from like issue 4. I think issue 14 was my very first issue. And then I read 16 and 17 and 18. And then New Batman Adventures was on. It was always on Sunday mornings. And I used to have to go to church with my family, despite my not wanting to go to church. But I was pretty deadly with the VCR remote control. So I would set it to record episodes of New Batman or Superman, and then New Batman Adventures, and then Batman Beyond. It was like 3 in a row on a Sunday morning, which was really awesome. And then you had Static Shock as well. And so I remember coming home one Sunday, and I was wondering, like, literally that day, maybe even a day or two before, like, when are they going to show Nightwing? Because like Dick Grayson had showed up, and I kept thinking, like, did I miss an episode? Like, because Dick Grayson had shown up at the end of Sins of Our Father, or Sins of the Father, whatever it was. Yeah, I think that's what it was called, with Tim Drake at the end of the episode, where they basically cribbed Jason Todd's origin. And then literally, like, I rewind the VCR and hit play, and we're like pushing on the back of a dude in black perched on a rooftop with cyan blue, like, swipes down his back, and it's like, this is Nightwing. And yeah, it was awesome. And it was like a total Nightwing centric episode that like did some world building for him, and showed how he operated the motorcycle, the loft. Looked like he had spent some time in Japan based on some of his, I think he had a sword rack and stuff like that.
And that wall panel design.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was super neat. And yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite episodes. It's a great done in one too.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those strong. I mean, but we're biased, but it's definitely. I would say it's definitely one of the stronger New Batman Adventures episodes.
I'm just distracted. I'm a little jealous of that Nightwing blue chair you're sitting in.
Oh, me? Oh, yeah. Everything in my office coordinates, apparently.
What else?
I also, yes. So I love it because I like how he's more giving. And I think, I don't know, I like to interpret that at the beginning he was giving Catwoman a chance, but then Batman was like, she's after this emerald.
Right.
So I think that's a good showcase of who Nightwing is and how he's different, different from Batman. Also, I kind of like, I think it's, part for show, but also part real when Batman shows up on Selina's doorstep and he's like, stop bothering Nightwing. It's like such a dad moment.
Yeah, for sure. By the way,
I love those kinds of things.
By the way, is my microphone distorting at all to you? Does it sound okay?
Yeah, you're good.
No, you're coming through fine.
Okay, because it sounds, I don't know, there's a weird volume thing happening on my end, but okay, cool. Just making sure.
And then I also love watching it now, the floppy disk.
Oh, yeah.
That super old computer.
Oh, yeah, because I was watching my 7-year-old. He's like, what's that?
Wow.
I know, and he sticks the floppy in. And I still, this kind of makes me wonder, but of course I don't have any floppies anymore to test it, but he does the floppy, puts it in his, I don't know, wherever his little pouch is, where it goes, but then he and Catwoman fall in a pool. And I'm not sure as I think a floppy disk would survive that.
Oh, it would. It's magnetic.
You think so? Okay. All right.
And I mean, he could have a waterproof thing or, waterproof pouch or something.
I guess that's true. Anyway, but yes, I love that. Because it harkens back to another episode, which this was back when, in regular animated series, when he was Robin. But that episode where the Riddler delivers that huge computer to and Commissioner Gordon gets trapped in it. I was in second grade, so I wasn't super computer savvy. You didn't actually have to be computer savvy back when we were in second grade. And I learned a bunch of things about computers from that episode. They were like, it's the software. Did you check the hardware? And I was like, wow. I just learned something.
I love the big scene in this when he uses the glider wings to glide after Catwoman in the boat. All right, so does everyone like glider wings? Or in comics, sometime early on he had glider wings like in the Titans, but yeah, like
I don't know that he ever really used them. I mean, in the blue and yellow suit, maybe for like a hot second, but
well, yeah, I feel like there's that one. Well, there's that one episode, issue Teen Titans 33 or something in Infinite Crisis,
Oh,
where
yeah.
he gets Superboy and he puts on the atrocious wing outfit and he uses his glider wings. But that's about the only time I remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm torn on them. Like I kind of think they're cool and I like them, especially in context of like if you're doing any version of Nightwing that is not an animated or even a or a comic book still image medium, then I do think they kind of work pretty well. Like you look at something like the Arkham City games, and you look at how Batman operates in the Arkham City games, and you realize how useful having a cape that allows for the gliding is narratively and just like from a traversal standpoint. So like in that regard, and it's same like I don't like the electrified Eskrima sticks all that much, except that when you play in a game like that, you're like, oh yeah, that's actually awesome. That totally makes sense within this teched out version of the Bat, universe that they've created here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit of a purist from a vigilante standpoint, and I feel like a lot of vigilantes traditionally, especially with pulp roots, don't really have like glider capabilities.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the Shadow does. I don't know.
Did old Shadow? I don't know.
I'm fine with them. I'm fine with them because they don't look ugly, like the glider wings on that second Nightwing suit.
Yeah, where does he keep his Eskrima sticks?
In the animated series,
magic pouches.
A magic place.
Honestly, the greatest thing about, I have a new book that we announced that's going to be coming out in February called Radiant Black, and you'll notice the color scheme is it's not a coincidence that the color scheme is my all-time favorite color scheme for a superhero, which is the Robin's Egg blue, black with white highlights, in the case of Radiant Black. And one of the things that is so awesome as I'm writing it that I get to lean into is like every gadget I want or I create, I can lean into like the Green Lantern / Power Ranger / Sentai kind of, transforming hero archetype or tropes. And that stuff can be manifested from nothing. Like it can be manifested from another dimension, or just like, he has a black hole in his chest. Like maybe all this stuff is there that he's able to manifest. So I don't have to deal with like,
that would be super convenient.
Does he have a utility belt? Does he have big gauntlets with pockets in them?
I always just picture they're on his leg like Daredevil, except they're just hidden. You can't see them.
We put him on his leg later in my run.
Yeah,
that was the best spot that we decided to put him. Scott McDaniel used to draw him like in the small of his back.
Yeah,
but then he would have him like they would like contort along with Nightwing contorting. It was like, are these rubber?
Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits of the comic book is, of course, you're like, whatever, and you can just do them really streamlined, because that's one thing. I mean, I don't really play video games. My fine motor skills are not that good. And just looking visually at the Arkham games, I feel like everybody looks so bulky. And I guess it's because they actually... they wanted to actually look like, oh, this isn't spandex. It will reinforce you and this kind of stuff. But I'm like, I like the sleek lines and just pretend it's magic.
And then,
all right, yeah. Anything else about that episode? It's a pretty classic one.
Oh, I just love the gag of when they're down at the docks the first time, and Nightwing's chasing the guy, and Batman's just standing there saying he's all yours. And then at the end with the hook, Nightwing takes off after Catwoman. He's like, "Oh, he's all yours."
Yep.
And it's basically calling him, one point calls Batman.
Yeah.
Yep. And how you're like thinking, oh, Nightwing just got he just got served by Catwoman, but it's like, nope, I was working with Batman the whole time. Oh.
I will say, speaking of costume redesigns, I don't like this Catwoman. Like, it creeps me out. And I think she would be fine if her complexion weren't, Tim Burton dead.
It looks kind of green. It's kind of greenish almost, or something.
And when she takes her mask off, she looked normal. So is there supposed to be something over her mouth?
Yeah, I don't like that. That's why I don't like the Poison Ivy design either. And they all kind of look like the Joker, like they're in Joker makeup,
Well, and I just think too, I mean, even a little bit with Batgirl and with Barbara, like everybody's too like tiny little waist, and the skirts are really short and stuff. You're like, this is a kid's show, man. Although you're also animated. But.
Right.
But Catwoman had more cats this time, so that was a plus. Because I think mostly you only ever see Isis, I think, in Batas. But this time she had a whole bunch of cats.
So, any other thoughts on this, or should we get to the next one? Excited for this.
That's good.
All right. So, the second one, Old Wounds, was the 18th episode of the new Batman Adventures. Aired October 3rd, 1998.
Man, they made you wait a while to figure out why Dick was Nightwing. I mean, the whole thing's only 24 episodes.
And what episode was this? 8?
No, 18.
Wow. That's right. Yeah. I didn't see this one for like a couple years, I feel like. I think I ended up downloading it like a DivX illegal BitTorrent download of the episode. I'm pretty sure that's how
did you get it on Napster?
I did. Oh yeah, probably, or LimeWire.
It's hard to track down these episodes. Like, I don't think I got all the every episode on DVD. Was it like the mid 2000s? And that's the first time I remember seeing them for sale, like anywhere really.
Yeah, it was. I mean, sometimes they did little collections of like 4 to 9 episodes or whatever. But
the cheap ones,
uncut version of Return of the Joker, I got that. I saw that before the cut version because I heard that they were delaying it, and then I found a stream of it, and oh my god, that blew my mind. Kevin Smith told me a story when I did his podcast about how Paul Dini told him what was happening, everything, and said he would send him a copy of the original, the full version of the movie, and he sent it over to Kevin. It was on, and when it got to Kevin, it was on a VHS tape, and it said "Home Movies" on it. That was the title that they wrote on the VHS for Kevin, which I thought was, knowing the context of that movie, I thought was pretty awesome.
I love that sequence in Return of the Joker. I just hate that, it starts off with Barbara saying, "Oh yeah, Nightwing had moved on to another city." It's like, oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, no. Although look, I then wrote the story.
Yeah,
I wrote the story in the comic, if none of that, we wouldn't have had to do any of that if he had just been around.
Oh yeah, I mean, Dan Jurgens has been writing it now, and he completely ignored that. I mean, right now, Dick Grayson is the mayor of Gotham City.
He is
in Batman Beyond. Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Why do you think they did that? Like, do you think Lauren Lester wasn't available, or they just didn't want to write?
No, they just didn't. I don't know. That's a good question. I think they did have plans to do something with Nightwing if they had done. I was told that if they had done a second Return of the Joker movie, it wouldn't have actually been Return of the Joker, right? It wouldn't have been the Joker, but like a second animated Batman Beyond movie, it would have been about Dick Grayson and what happened to him.
Oh, nice.
But they didn't end up doing it, so.
Very sad.
Dan, I love Dan, but it's really funny. I feel like every time, like this is now twice where Dan has done a character either immediately after I've done the character or a little while after I've done the character. And both times he's just like straight up done my shit. like I created Rewire in the animated Batman Beyond comic, and he like suddenly like shows up and now he's just in proper DC universe. For Dan's Batman Beyond, I was like, whoa, it's the same exact character, but so it was like, so that was the first time. And then when he came on Nightwing, he's done a bunch of my Court of Owls stuff that I had teased during my run that like I would have killed to have been able to do had I not been fired and the book canceled. But I mean, I guess that, I mean, that's what working in a shared universe is, but it's pretty funny to know that. And then to hear like, oh, and he made Dick Grayson mayor. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I would have done that. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, Barbara Gordon is the police commissioner. So it does kind of, I mean, I could see you making a case for it, but something about it is just kind of like, oh, I don't. Why does each one of the Bat family have to be important in their day-to-day life?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because honestly, that feels like a bad idea. Because what if your mask slips or something? If you're just Joe Schmo, how many people are going to recognize you?
Well, I think he was kind of semi-retired, or
I'm sure he's retired. Yeah.
Side out.
Anyway, so into Old Wounds then.
Yes.
One of the best setups ever with the security guard who gets mugged.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole episode is framed around that is pretty awesome.
Oh yeah,
including the payoff. Yeah,
it just starts with Robin asking Nightwing, "What happened between you and Batman?" And basically it's a long story. Oh yeah, that's what Batman says. You guys are just so alike. You sound alike. So
I'm nothing like him.
Which is true though. I always appreciate when it's like, yeah, they're different, but they're also a lot alike. Because they couldn't have worked so well together, better than any of the other dynamic duos, if they were not alike in a lot of
I think Tim and Bruce were not the animated Tim, but comic book Tim Drake. I think is a really good Robin for
yeah, definitely.
I mean, Dick. He's taken so many under his wing. Tim, and he was, like I always say, like Dick was always like a better father to Damian, I feel, than Bruce was.
Yeah.
I think if you want your Robin to be the most like you want Bruce and Tim. If you want him to be a lot like you, but different than you, to complement you in some important ways, then you want Bruce and Dick. But most of Bruce and Dick are like a little bit lighter. That's what I like. But yes, I thought Old Wounds was good again because Batman's, basically gonna beat this guy up in front of his son. Dick being kind of this is where I draw the line.
And that's after Bruce missed Dick's college graduation.
Right.
For sure.
But then in the end, he demonstrates that he did learn something from Dick when he gave the security guard, who he was wrong to beat up in front of the guy's family, he gave that guy a job at Wayne Enterprises, and the guy's been on the straight ever since.
And then there's the whole thing with Barbara. Bruce is like, Bruce shows her the cave and everything, and she's like, "You're trusting me?" He's like, "Oh, I'm not dealing with secrets, Batgirl. How do you know? I'm making you know this."
Honestly, the weakest part of the episode is the Joker plot.
Yeah, but I guess they needed some kind of threat or something. But yeah,
but it could have been built. It could have been baked in or built into. I don't know. Like, it feels like such an episode of the week. And in a weird way, like Phantasm has the same problem. That movie is brilliant up until the third act. And in the third act, for like a stretch of like a 7-minute stretch, it turns into a goofy episode of Batman the Animated Series where they're fighting in the set of miniatures. And you're like, but it's with the budget of a Hollywood movie. And you're like, oh, but it makes me remember and feel like I'm watching the show at home on, a cartoon on, on Sunday morning. And this Joker plot, same thing. I mean, I feel like if you're going to do an episode about the legacy and the mythology, then I think you should pull out your best action plot that you can come up with that is specific to the mythology. Like, that's what's so great about the answers in Return of the Joker. And this episode is, by and large, it comes out at episode 18, as you say, Kristen. This is here's what happened, here are the answers episode. And the answers in Return of the Joker and the Joker's plot is specific to the Joker's relationships with the Bat family and him basically pulling an endgame. Like, here's the last straw, and he's going to change everything. And he does, right? But the Joker, the action plot is tied to the mythology itself rather than just being the secondary, like, oh, this could have been an episode of the week. This is just an episode of the week storyline.
I mean, they could have pulled it off better. I mean, probably, but I think part of his anger at the end there is like, it's like, oh, you put Barbara almost died. She went falling off this building. If I hadn't been here, who knows if she might have died. And two, I mean, I'll make any excuse because I'll take even like a half-baked story if it gets me more Mark Hamill Joker.
Sure, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think the part about the first part with the guy, Connor, the guy who was the lookout and Batman trying to beat him up in front of his family, that part feels much more compelling to me as why Dick would want to leave and set out on his own than the Barbara part of like, you put Barbara in danger. Like, it's not like this is the first time she went out as Batgirl.
Yeah, I never read it that it was really about Barbara, like, at all. Like, I guess I always read it like the Barbara stuff was just, it was more like,
I think she was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Well, I think it was more about, hold on a second, you knew who she was the whole time and you didn't tell me. But then you're going to go, and he's like, it wasn't my thing to tell. And he's like, but then you took her out on a job. Like, it's just like, it's kind of like, come on, bro. Like, that's just like a douche move. Like,
right. And I feel like they play, maybe because, I don't know, to make it simpler for kids, it kind of comes off like with the words that they're saying more, I can't believe you put Barbara in danger. He manipulates you into doing stuff. But yeah, I feel like really the issue is a trust issue that, okay, you knew Barbara was Batgirl, but you kept it to yourself. You didn't tell Batgirl that you knew. You didn't tell me that Robin is dating Batgirl. And then also you just told, like, Dick was being very careful not to tell Barbara on Nightwing. Yeah. And then Bruce is like, oh, hey, come down to my cave and I'll reveal.
I'll be out at Dick too, yeah.
Not reveal it all. Were you thinking that, because Kyle, you wrote that, right? With the pregnancy thing? When, that was you, right? When Batman Beyond. Yeah. Were you thinking about this episode? Because that was, I mean, it's weird, but that was what they did in the show, like that Bruce and Barbara might have a kid. But then Barbara's like, Bruce, don't tell him. And then Bruce goes and tells him immediately, and you're like, dude, Dick move.
Oh, you're talking about a nice story?
Yeah, and I'm saying, were you thinking about this episode? Because that was maybe they make me think of each other.
Yeah, I mean, it was this episode and the episode of Batman Beyond when she sits down at the coffee shop with Terry and says, Dick had moved on and I stayed behind to be with Bruce. And he goes, as his partner. And she looks at him and he goes, as his girlfriend? Whoa. And so that was like, whoa. And so then it kind of like it retroactively kind of reframes everything.
Yeah, in kind of a weird way.
Yeah, it's I'm surprised they were able to do it. I'm surprised there's not more, like, people talk about it like it's weird, but people like give it a pass, like, but it's so great except for that, like they just kind of ignore it.
I don't know. I never got the whole Bruce and Barbara thing because it's just so weird. Because I mean, from Dick's point of view, it's like you break up with this girl, then all of a sudden it's like your dad is dating her all of a sudden. Yeah. And even on Bruce's side, it's like you're dating your best friend's daughter.
That's why I told the story. That's why I wrote the story, because it's like, as a writer, it's like, as a fan, I go, yeah, I don't want that. But as a writer, I go, there's a really good story in there. And if I don't do it, someone else one day will. And like I said, there are some bits in there that I wish I could have a do-over on, but by and large, I do stand by the story.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad you wrote the story, because at least you got into it. It's like the anime, Batman Beyond. It's just like, oh yeah, they're dated. It's like, wait.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe that's part of the reason why, because I think it's more of an undercurrent in the new Batman Adventures. But like I said, I'm not totally satisfied with Batgirl in the new Batman Adventures because she just feels more like a sidekick and too deferential to Bruce, and that's very different from how she is in the comics. She's always been very independent in the comics and definitely not afraid to call Bruce on his shit frequently and loudly and whenever it needs to be done.
Sure.
Well,
Well, actually, hey guys, I hate to do this. I think I have to jump though.
Okay.
But you guys keep going, and I will listen to the podcast.
You don't want to say anything about the music before you go?
Oh, it's so good. And it just keeps going. I love it. It's so great. I'm waiting for La La Land to do the release that has it as its own track. And I actually asked, I know the composers from the show, and I've had lunch with them before, and I've asked them straight up, I was like, who wrote the Nightwing theme? And they don't remember. They said that they thought Shirley might have, but they didn't seem to remember. So, but if I can find out, I will definitely let you guys know, because I love it.
Yeah, because Nightwing, Dick doesn't have his own theme until he's Nightwing, right? Batman and Robin share kind of a theme.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. That's right.
But there's a theme in the Robin's Reckoning episode, or a motif. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a motif in the Robin's Reckoning episode that is kind of, a little bit of a theme for Dick in that episode. So, but anyway. Okay, awesome. Enjoy. Thank you so much for having me, and we will talk soon.
Of course. Sorry we didn't give you more time to talk about the music.
No. I just hit it. We did it.
Okay, I didn't know if you want to say, all right, bye to your cat. I see him in the background.
Yeah. You want to promote social media or your projects or anything?
At Kyle D. Higgins on Twitter and Instagram, but mostly Twitter. The Nightwing Prince of Gotham omnibus is out now at your local comic book store and also available online. And if you go to radiant.black, you can see all about my brand new book. That is, if you like Dick Grayson, you like Nightwing, you're going to love Radiant Black.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. And with that, I bid you adieu.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck with your work.
Thanks so much.
All right.
What
else do you think about Old Wounds, Phil?
Well, like he was saying, the music. I love that music. It's either, whether it's Nightwing on the motorcycle or him gliding after Catwoman in that last episode. The
whole series. That was definitely one thing that was consistent from Batman the Animated Series to New Batman Adventures. The music is really great.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be some of the best music for a cartoon.
Kind of get that slower for Batman, but Nightwing, of course, you get like the faster, and yeah.
And it's some of the... it's got to be some of the best music for a cartoon out there. Because it's a real orchestra.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine that a lot of cartoons don't budget for a real orchestra.
Oh, yeah, because I remember, when the animated series first started there, everyone just raved. It's like, it's not only just the animation and the story, it's like the music, and it's like adult, those first couple seasons, it's like adults can watch it, kids can watch it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
All those shows in that universe, are good, even like the Superman and the Justice League stuff. But I don't think any animated universe since then has done it as well as like the Batman universe, the animated series universe. Even the New Adventures, I think, it's good. I've watched the subsequent Batman series, but again, maybe just I'm old, but I always like the animated series and the New Adventures over anything.
For sure. Well, and I think if you hadn't had Batman the Animated Series, then I wouldn't have anything. If the animation had always been the way it is with New Batman Adventures, I'd be like, yeah, it's good. Because it's good. But it's just they did Batman the Animated Series version before, and that is just more to my taste.
Yeah, like you said, the story, I think the stories were deeper and more in depth with those first couple seasons, and I don't.
Yeah, and they had some two-parters,
several
two-parters, and I don't think they had any two-parters.
And I think for the first two or three, they weren't worried about. They were probably like, okay, we might sell some toys. That's nice, but I don't think they were as worried about selling toys. They were just like, hey, let's tell good stories.
Yeah, the Catwoman one is definitely good, and Old Wounds is good. But yeah, I've watched some of the Well, like actually one of the other ones I watched today, because I was trying to watch all the ones that had Nightwing or Dick in them, and one of them was Chemistry, where Poison Ivy comes up with these plant people, and they're going around and getting married to all of the elites in Gotham, and Bruce gets married to one of them, and like it's interesting, but it's also kind of
I'm not saying everyone was a winner. I mean, I got Batman in my basement, please.
Oh, that was that was Batman animated series. Yeah, this one was the one with New Batman Adventure.
Oh, okay.
With the chemistry. Well, because I really enjoy the one with pod people in Batman the animated series. Because it has Dick in it as Robin at first, and he gets kidnapped by Poison Ivy's little plant man, and that's how he helps Batman break the case, because Poison Ivy with her fake husband and his fake kids, because Chris and Kelly are girls.
Ooh. Oh, hey, did you ever watch any of the Superman animated series episodes?
I don't think so.
Go watch Nighttime with a K. Nighttime, yes.
Okay, is it like a Batman crossover one?
Yes, because I won't spoil the ending, but Bruce Wayne goes missing. Like, it's basically just Robin watching Gotham. So Superman.
Oh wait, but Tim Jason Robin or
Tim? Yeah, Tim Rob. Yeah. Because it's set in the new, the new Batman, in this season here. Yeah, so Superman comes to town and to help Robin out. He kind of masquerades as Batman. Oh, it's so fun. It's great.
Oh, okay. That sounds pretty funny.
Like they're interrogating the Penguin, and Tim's like, kick over his desk. What? Kick over his desk. Like Bruce Wayne would just like tip it over. Like Superman almost puts the desk through the wall. He almost puts it through the wall. Yeah.
Because Superman's nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he doesn't know his own strength. And then I wouldn't even spoil what happens when Bane thinks, Bane's like, I've upgraded my Venom. Now you'll never, overpower me.
Wrong.
Yeah, go watch it. It is great. You'll love it.
Yeah. Oh, I watched Over the Edge too. That one was pretty good.
But
it's like, yeah, not as much
Nightwing in it, but it is good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's just, I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's part of it as well.
And again,
I don't know. There's just something that seems to be, I guess, there are not as many amazing episodes of the new Batman Adventures. I mean, granted, there aren't as many of those episodes, period. But
I just think they're trying to pack in too many characters, because, like, in like those first couple seasons, I mean, you got a lot of episodes where it was just Batman, but like I said, with these, he had to have at least one sidekick with him at all times.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey kids, look, there's a kid in every episode, or hey girls, look, there's a girl.
Right, and then there's those weird Batman Batgirl vibes that they really should have done without.
Yes.
All right, here's our unboxing. We already presented it, but the new Nightwing Omnibus. There's the, what do you call this? The dust jacket. Yes. Dust jacket. But this is exciting. It's different pictures on the actual book. What? It's like 2 covers for the price of 1.
And hey, Kristen, who wrote those issues that are in that book?
Oh, I believe it was Kyle, who was just talking with us. So check it out. It includes Nightwings 1 through 30. It also includes 0. So 0 through 30, I suppose I should say. It includes Nightwing Annual number 1. It includes Batman 17, which is Death of the Family, the punchline. So kind of wrap up the story. And you get The Long Year, Secret Origins number 1. And the little short one from that Valentine's Day Young Romance and New 52 Valentine's Day special.
Oh, wow. So yeah, so I mean, I think there's some in there that he didn't write, but yeah, I mean, included in there is Cal's whole New 52 run. So
yeah, I think he said he didn't write maybe 13 and 14 because he was.
is that the Death of the Family tie-in? That's the tie-in.
No, that's 15 and 16. Maybe he didn't write those, or there's a couple where he's working on something else. So somebody else wrote it.
Number 30, I think he didn't write number 30 because I was like,
oh yeah, that's right, he didn't write 30.
I was like that Grayson, lead in.
Yep. Oh, I just went to one. There's Bruce hugging Damien. Oh, I love hugs. And it has some stuff in the back, sketches, unused cover art. You know how they do.
Yes.
It has this fun alternate cover with Nightwing in a Mike Mondo action figure in front of it. Which is pretty fun. Yeah, Scribble Knots. What's Scribble Knots? Do you know? You have a child. Is it a kid's thing?
I get. No, I think it's just that style. I'm not sure.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go. So it's good. It is 6.
I was trying to double
many pages.
I was trying to check here because they were
over 800 pages.
Oh yeah. Trying to.
Oh yeah, and I meant to say, but then Kyle had to leave. But on the front of the dust jacket, it has the quote that he's really proud of. Because when you get down to it, my life isn't about the costumes or the bad guys. It's not about cities or symbols. It's way simpler than that. I mean, I grew up in a circus. It's always been about catching people when they fall. Boom. Ta-da! I put it back because it's heavy. With 800 pages, as you might imagine.
Oh, and I know we're going to be reading Nightwing Future State in January and February, but it looks like maybe I think there's a Teen Titans Future State, and it looks like I don't know if there's a Nightwing's in that. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he is. Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you want to say something about 104? Batman?
Yeah. I won't spoil too much, but yeah, it's like there's a big portion of Batman 104 from like, was it 2 weeks ago or something? It's like a flashback to because there's a.
I think it was December 1st. It came out at the same time that on the bus.
Because there's a new figure shows up, Ghostmaker, and he has like a past with Bruce and Barbara, and nobody knows who he is. And Dick's like, well, I know who he is just because back when Dick was Robin, they ran into him, and he basically cornered Bruce. Like, who was that? And it was basically a guy who trained at the same time Bruce trained and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, did you read it?
I did, yeah, because it came in. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I liked the flashback.
Yeah, and so of course between before the flashback and after, we got a little bit of Nightwing too. So
yeah, he was like on his way from Bloodhaven.
Yeah. So yes.
Yeah. Wait. Something's up with Bruce, or he's missing, or he needed help. What was it? Because Barbara was calling Dick for a reason.
Yeah. Because Ghostmaker like kidnapped him and Harley. And
that's right. Yeah, and then at the end, that clown killer or whatever.
Yeah, that kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
His parents were killed in Joker War, so now he's like trying to kill like all the clowns. So he was coming after.
Yeah.
That's where he got caught. He was coming after Harley.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. I was like, yeah, that was the reason. Yeah, but I liked it. It had kind of, old chum vibes a little bit.
Exactly.
Which also gets me circling back to Batman the Animated Series. I also, New Batman Adventures. I also watched the episode Tales of the Dark Knight, which is where they have the kid who tells the old-timey version, and then the Carrie character who tells. And I thought that was pretty awesome. I enjoyed that episode because obviously that's Dick Robin, because he has no pants and he says puns and jokes, and Batman calls him old chum at the end. Although it's different voices. it's not Mark Hamill doing the Joker, I don't think.
Yeah.
Or if it is, he's deliberately doing it different. So.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to remember who it was, but yeah, people doing the voice.
Yeah, it's different people doing it. But I liked it. I thought it was kind of interesting because they also animated it in a animation style that was very close to the comic book. So I enjoyed that because there were definitely a couple moments in there where I thought, oh, I know what cover that's taken from, or something like that. So I was a fan of that one. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, because didn't they do? I think they did like a couple different versions. It's been a while since I watched that one, but
yeah, it's like 3 little bits. It's kind of the old timey, like old chum, sort of 1940s version. Then the Dark Knight Returns with Carrie version, and then at the end, the kids actually see Batman, and so that it's like.
No wonder you watched it. Yeah, that was the episode after Old Wounds. So yes, no wonder.
Right. Yeah. So it just like went straight. It just went straight into it. So I was like, all right, let's keep it going.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the pictures now. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that No Pants Robin, that was like what, like Dick Sprang. That's like
yeah, it's very Dick Sprang style. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Dark Knight Returns. Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was fun.
All right. So, anything else on the animated series or the new Batman?
I don't know. What's your favorite episode
of all time, or of the new Batman adventures?
You can say both.
Well,
you can give like a top 5 list.
I mean, the new Batman adventures, it probably is Old Wounds. Although, I mean, I do like some of the episodes, that don't even have Nightwing. Like that. Did you watch? What is it? No Fear.
Never Fear.
Never Fear. That's it. Yeah, where Scarecrow's gassing people, and he even gasses Batman. And instead of making them afraid, it takes away their fear.
Oh yeah, I have seen that. I didn't watch that one today, but I have seen that one.
Yeah, but Batman's just getting reckless because he's not even afraid of dying or anything.
Yeah.
All time. I like Almost Got Him.
Oh, that's a good one. It was a big rock.
I know.
That's a joke in my family.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's so many good ones. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, that one always stands out in my mind. Almost Got Him. I know. I was gonna say, what's some of your favorites? But I know, if you're so smart, why aren't you rich?
Yes. So here's my list. This is actually all. I love to make lists. This is the list of all the episodes of Batman the Animated Series that have Dick Grayson in them. So I would say absolutely one of my favorites, hands down, is Fear of Victory. I've talked about that before. I love that episode. It's so quotable. Batman says to Robin, "I'll drive real slow," because he's nervous. Also, I don't think I realized when I was a kid just how much the anxiety aspect spoke to me. But now that I'm an adult, I'm like, oh, now I partially know why I really liked this episode, because it's about anxiety. So yes, that one I love. Honestly, I think all of the Riddler episodes are really good. I love, yes, If You're So Smart, Why Aren't You Rich? Riddler's Reform, What Is Reality, which is one I was talking about with the computer. I like all of those. I appreciate Christmas with the Joker as a great holiday episode. Although I'm not nearly as much of a fan of It's a Wonderful Life as Dick Grayson is in that episode. And in my opinion, the only thing, and not to be rude to whoever was the substitute Alfred, the only thing that keeps that one from reaching peak Batman the Animated Series is whoever voices Alfred is not Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. It's just not quite as good. But yeah, that one is pretty classic.
And I would go one step over. It's not like technically an episode, but Batman: Mask of the Phantasm may be my favorite Batman movie.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. It's definitely so good. And I mean, the Demon's Quest is good, and I said I liked that house. House and Garden one. Yeah, most of them pretty good, but yeah, Fear of Victory is definitely like always my go-to. I don't know on the new Batman Adventures. Maybe you scratch my back. I said it because I don't know. I mean, I like Old Wounds, but also it's kind of. I don't want to say it's kind of depressing, but
yeah, I know.
You know how I am. I'd like it if they parted more amicably, a la Batman 368.
I know, but I mean, at least they parted that way instead of like that one.
You're fired.
Well, or him getting shot, like they.
Oh well, yes, right.
We covered, yeah. Right. Which would have been kind of dark for Saturday morning cartoon, but.
Well, as Sunday morning in particular, man, that's intense. Mm-hmm. That's the Lord's Day.
All right. Should we get out of here and tell them what we're doing next? Although I want to add something to the agenda next week because Nightwing 77 comes out next week.
Okay, we can add it.
So
I'll allow it.
So we're going to be covering more animation. We're going to be covering Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go next week. And as I said,
yes. I know people have feelings about Teen Titans Go. So you should send your feelings about Teen Titans Go to Phil. Maybe he can read them.
Yes, go ahead. Try to keep it clean, but yes.
Yeah, we'll censor them.
So Nightwing 77 comes out next week. So maybe we'll do Wednesday next week so we can cover Nightwing 77.
Oh yeah, sure, that should be fine.
Our last regular issue of Nightwing until March, at least.
The last issue of Nightwing for 2020. We're so close, Phil. This disastrous year is almost over.
Hey, I was going to say it makes sense because next episode will be our last episode of 2020.
Yeah.
So.
There we go. It's the holiday. Oh, his hat fell off. It's the holiday season. Santa Nightwing wishes happy holidays to all.
All right. So, yes. All right, everyone. So, you got your homework. Watch Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go. Send us your thoughts. Like I said, we'll probably record the review of Nightwing 77 on Wednesday. So, if you pick the book up Tuesday or early Wednesday, send us your thoughts. capesandlunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow Nightwing News on Facebook, Twitter. We have our Facebook group, the Bloodhaven Bulletin. Please go join us. We need more members over there. Find links to all of the social medias, links to this YouTube channel, links to merch. Links to the Patreon, big thing coming in the new year. So please go over there and support us there. And you can find links to all of that at Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And remember to support the sponsors, Tweaked Audio, Hunt a Killer. Be like the Bat Family and Hunt a Killer. Use the code Southgate for both of those. Then go pick up more reading homework assignments. One, pick up Pod Life, the book, now in digital and paperback. Learn the ins and outs of podcasting. And, of course, you're a fan of Dick Grayson if you're listening to this. So go pick up Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder. I order you. That's right. And when you pick up those, you can do that on Amazon. And, hey, we're in the holiday season. So when you do your holiday shopping, use the link for Southgate Media Group right down there in the show notes. It doesn't affect you at all, but it helps us support this show, the network, and that man in his cave, Rob Master Doom Southgate.
Make it rain, so says Master Doom. Please kick me in the pants
and ask no questions. All right. And of course, I did your plug. Yes, that's right. She put the Dick Grayson Boy Wonder book together. So see, you should want to get it just because Kristen put it together. You know what? It is full of
diggity dank. Yeah.
All right, everyone.
Burn.
Thank you for joining us again. Come back next week for the last episode of the Nightwing News of 2020.
Wow.
I know. Look at it. Damn. First full year every week.
One of the only things getting us through this train wreck of a year.
That's right. We're sane with our coverage of the Nightwing.
At least we knew we had great classic Nightwing things to wrap ourselves up in.
We made your year better. We gave you dick. All right. Enough of this foolishness. All right, come back next week. Same wing time.
Same wing channel.
The Nightwing News. Keep flying, Grayson.